To delete or not to delete? My current job has no standardized training and hasn't since I started a year and a half ago. After my training I created an extensive document of protocols and how everything works. It's over 20 pages long and I update it regular. New hires have come to rely on my document. Now I am leaving because I feel used and not valued. My boss calls me a peer mentor and I quote, I don't get a raise benefits that a supervisor would get. No, there's no other supervisor, I am the most senior agent. And yes, I've asked for an official promotion and was turned down. Anyways, my last day is tomorrow, so do I delete the document or just leave it for my colleagues to use? Edit. I've come up with an idea that will just inconvenience everyone. I'll make the document private. Just said no to a company that originally offered no PTO. And it kind of feels good. This was for a senior executive role too and would have been my highest paying to date. They came up on the PTO after I rejected their first offer but showed their true cards in originally not offering PTO until 1 year of service. I do not want to work for an organization that does not value its employees. It's more expensive in the long run to stay at a mentally draining job than to find new work that doesn't wear on your mental health. Title says it all. The longer you stay at a job that degrades your mental health, the more damage is done to your mind. The harder and more expensive getting back to a healthy mental state will be. Work culture will have you believe that your mental health is elastic. That the few hours after your shift is over and the few days you get off is enough for you to regroup your mental health to take on more mental anguish in the following week. And that's just not true. Start thinking of your mental health as you would your physical health. If a job requires you to physically break your back daily, the weekends will never be enough for you to recover. Eventually, that constant back-breaking pain will destroy you. Eventually, you won't be able to work in the back-breaking job anymore if your back is completely destroyed. The same goes for mental health. If you stay in a job that destroys your mental health daily, then eventually, you will burn out and you won't be able to work in that position anymore. Your vacations will eventually turn into an expensive week of worrying about your job and your mental health. Life will lose its color and it will take a toll on your family and relationships. Take care of your mental health as you would your physical health so that you can live your life the best you can. If a job is taking more than you can give mentally, it's time to find a new one. Take the leap. Leave the job that's destroying you in any way you can. Make an escape plan if money is tight. You can do this. I believe in you. Ever have a company try to get free consulting from you by disguising it as part of an interview? I'm a digital media producer and recently I interviewed with a company that asked me to write up an email with some new property ideas to get a feel for my creative mind. I don't exactly feel comfortable giving my ideas to somehow prove I'm capable for the job. They obviously want to know for sure that they are hiring the right candidate, but what is stopping them from taking my IP and running with it while I'm left with no job offer? I considered sending an NDA or respectfully declining, but I also don't want to lose out on an opportunity. Is this a red flag or just an ethical gray area? How is it legal to work 14 hours daily? Like how? I recently been promoted to a supervisor. I go in at 5:30 a.m. and get out at 7:30 p.m. I work from Monday through Saturday. Luckily I only work 6 hours on Saturdays. I'm very tired. Edit. I work in a construction company in Texas. The only reason why I'm still working is because I went from making $17.10 to $23. They say that everyone is hiring right now, but no one will hire me. I live in a smaller town where good places to work are a little more scarce. I quit my awful door-to-door sales job once I got my tax return and enjoyed my life for a month or two, and now that I'm looking for work again, sending out application after application and resume after resume, I am getting little to no responses at all. I call to follow up, I send follow-up emails, still nothing. I have technician experience, I apply for technician jobs, I get no replies. The most recent place I applied, a unionized steel mill, had me get a physical and drug test, all of which I passed, and 3 days later are not answering my calls or reaching out to me. My money's running low, rent is due, and I'm about to be flat fucking broke. Just wanted to rant about this stupid shit. Thanks for reading. New job and the handbook says we can't discuss salary. I am filling out the paperwork for my new job and reading through the employee handbook. Below is a quote. Any discussion with any member of the Company. Staff regarding your salary will result in immediate termination based on previous posts I have read. I believe this is illegal. Can someone point me to a resource to verify this? Should I report this? Even though I really need the job, would they be able to determine that I reported them? Edit located in Iowa, USA. 30-hour work weeks should be considered full-time. I do admin work for a university, and our dept is unique in that our staff is expected to work 9-4, with an hour lunch in the middle of the day. 3 days a week need to be in the office for collaboration, especially with other university debts, and 2 can be remote if desired. This works out to 30 hours a week, and our salaries are based on a 40-hour week. Shockingly, all of the work that needs to be done gets done, and nothing related to our work is falling apart simply because we aren't doing work for 10 more hours a week. My understanding is that this is a pilot of sorts for other parts of the university, and I hope that we prove that it can be done, and should be done, by everyone else. 40-hour work weeks was a great goal for the 19th century. The goal now should be even less time spent at work and more time for life. It can be done. Yesterday I made the mistake of responding, "I'm here," when a manager asked me how are you doing. Long. The toughest part of working is pretending you're okay when you're obviously not. This mess occurred yesterday. We were short-handed, and I was acting as liaison between a couple different work groups while their managers sat in meetings and went to lunches. I was stressed out, and having a tough time responding to all the demands on me. I am not a people manager, but know all the apps and most of the processes quite well. Naturally, since the bosses were not present, my coworkers were baying like wolves at my door for advice. My guts were roiling, it's an actual word, from the tension, and I felt like my stomach acid was gonna eat its way through my poopy bits and pull under my chair. Anyway, one of the big bosses bellowed at me from down the hall, and stuck his head in my office. "How are you doing today, Name?" he asked. Taken somewhat aback, I responded, "I'm here." His demeanor changed immediately, and his expression turned to a scowl. Then, I shit you not, he literally slapped his leg and said, "I was just checking in with you." Sorry, I asked. In my 45 years of employment, I have never seen someone so pissed off that they literally slapped their leg. I thought that was something that only occurred in cartoons or comedy shows. Since then, the various group managers have been scowling at me because of how I responded. Apparently, the only acceptable answer is doing great. How are you? Well, excuse me. I am a human being, and please forgive me for not having sunshine and lemon flavored rainbows squirting out my beehole during a stressful moment. To add insult to injury, one of the other managers suggested I apologize to this guy as he can quite capably wreck my career with a couple words to the wrong person. I grit my teeth and sent the old dude a chat explaining that my salty attitude was not directed at him, but rather the current circumstances in the work group. He responded reasonably well, but the top guys are still giving me the evil eye since my candid moment. I am so tired of all this crap, but at least today is a little bit better. I need to buy a new game face, because my current one is just about worn out. Just informed my micromanaging, condescending boss I intend to leave her department. TLDR. Current boss sucks. Just told her I intend to leave for a boss that doesn't suck. I've worked for micromanagers before. She makes them look like Snoop Dogg relaxing in a hammock on a beach smoking a joint. Buckle up, everyone. I'm about to crack open the floodgates. If you're not sitting at your desk when she walks by, say, for going to the bathroom or doing actual non-desk related work, she'll call your cell phone and demand to know where you are. She also demands to be CC'd on every email, then brags about how many emails she gets and how swamped she is. Stuff goes smoother when she's not involved, however, so we leave her out as much as possible. She's the quintessential middle manager who refuses to let us work from home while sick or with COVID because she needs to justify her job, then works from home herself when sick. She's almost 60 and refuses to learn new software. In fact, she once spent an entire week coming up with a list of 60+ gripes, instead of, actually helping with the work, about a new, vastly superior upgrade the company is rolling out, just to let corporate know she wasn't happy about it. On conference calls, you can hear people from other branches who've never met her groan when she starts talking. Other managers say to me consolingly, man, I don't know how you deal with her, like I'm living with Lyme disease or anal fissures. They continually fight with, and have even yelled at, her because she's continually trying to manage their crap too. They've even had to bring in senior management to tell her to play with her own toys. She nitpicks at every detail of the work we do, writing amazingly long, detailed emails, including screenshots, on how to accomplish simple tasks. The work equivalent of explaining to an adult that your socks go on before your shoes. She still explains to me how to do crap I've done hundreds of times more than her. She habitually uses ridiculous amounts of question marks and exclamation points in emails. Where is the RJF file? We make fun of this by using at least 100 each time we email each other. Thanks, Mike. This is the only way I stay sane. She continually inserts herself into issues that don't concern her and have already been solved, causing new issues and problems to be solved. She's so strict on enforcing rules that she'll invent imaginary ones. Even the CEO has told her to dial it back. She rarely takes time off, but when she does, she continually texts us to assure herself we haven't burned the place down. In fact, answering her feverish check-ins often takes more time than actually doing the work. Just about done. Bear with me here. She actually wrote up my co-worker for taking a personal call in the bathroom once, while she takes them in her office continually. She threw another co-worker under the bus by reporting a major security incident for a harmless, minor act. New hires in our department last only a few months, and it's only a 6-person department. One said she was the most insulting person he'd ever worked for. When I tried to bring all this up to her, her response was, oh, well, the thing about me is that I'm not a hoverer. This astounding display of self-delusion showed me there's no use trying to reason with her, and now I just smile and nod. And you better believe I'm typing this on company time, just 20 feet away from her. I stay because the job pays well. In my manager's defense, she does go to bat for her subordinates and isn't a bad person, just a bad manager, and I have 5 human beings who depend on me. HR senior management know about her but don't do anything because I'm actually not sure why. Anyways, I just informed this woman that I intend to leave her department for a better position with a manager who is a friend and a cool person. The best part? It came during a one-on-one meeting meant to cover the additional duties I'd be taking on because another person in the department is leaving. Oh, Reddit. The feeling. You know the end of Shawshank Redemption, where Andy climbs out of the sewer pipe into the rain and lifts his arms into heaven. A free and redeemed man? That's me. That's how I feel right now. Yeah, that's the one. Update edit. When I told her, she just hung her head down and gave a heavy sigh. Then she says, maybe I should look for another job too, which is crazy because this job is her life. So, not only do I get to escape her, but I may have broken her spirit enough that she'll retire, find a new job, and other unfortunate souls will be spared the experience of working under her.